everybody, it's Christie here, back with another scrapbook process video. And I'm using the March 2019 Hip Kit Club Kit. I decided to pull these papers, a lot of the Sunny Days collection and Heidi Swap collection. I really liked the colors and all the patterns here. And then I also have the Sunny Days chipboard and some pieces that I really liked and thought I would use. And then my background's going to be the white cardstock. I love doilies, so I pulled the doilies. I got the Heidi Swap die cuts, which I end up not using. Those epoxy hearts are amazing, and so are the bows. I don't use any of the alphabets or the exclusive stickers, but I do use some of these stickers from the Sunny Days collection. And then I pulled some of the Project Life cards with colors that match. I decided to use this sketch as inspiration, and it's a Hip Kit sketch, and this is the Doodle Bug washi tape, and then there's the two pictures that I'm going to use. So I started out by putting some white gesso on my background. Now you're going to see that I'm going to do some work on this layout, on this background, and it's going to take a completely different turn. The colors were just too bright. I didn't like how it was competing with the picture. I laid the picture on top and it was just, it was okay, but then I kept going and it was just too much, too much. So I put that aside to dry, and I go ahead and start piecing together the layers of my layout. So I'm edge distressing all of the layers. Each layer got some edge distresser, including the Project Life cards and the background paper. I'm sizing my pictures and deciding which Project Life card I want to use. I thought I wanted to add a pop of pink, but I ended up sticking with the blues here. And you'll see later that I incorporate the pink on the new background. So doing some more edge distressing. I really like the Project Life cards this month. I love the block font. It matches the font in the Sunny Days collection. I cut out some pieces from the background paper from the Sunny Days. It was kind of like a outline on the back of, or on a piece of pattern paper. And so I fussy cut them out and thought I would use them. Here, I wasn't sure. I kept taking them off and putting them on. Definitely want to use the doilies, so I'm adding them there. You'll see me get that cut file, the best ever, which is this part of the floral cut file that you see. It's an exclusive from Hip Kit Club. And you'll see me try to use that a couple of times, but it ends up not making it on the layout. I really like the Sweet Life. Oh, there you go. See how busy that is? It's just like way too bright. And I wasn't sure if even gesso over the top would mute it out. So I decided to, you'll see here in a minute, that I decided to just nix that whole thing. So I'm adding some of the epoxy. These are thickers from the Sunny Days collection. I'm adding those on there. I use that powder to take the sticky off of the Sweet Life die cut, just so I could move it around and put it where I want it. Just adding some bits and bobs here and there. None of the die cuts from Heidi Swap make it. All right, so here it is. This is the background, much better. I just used the pink only. I put gesso the same way, and I just used the pink mist. This is from, what is it? Lindy's Stamp Gang. So I used just that. I love this little camera. It ends up getting moved around a lot, but it does make it onto the final product. I do use the chipboard hearts. The chipboard flowers from the Sunny Days collection. Here I'm just adding tissue paper to the back of my photo. I really like doing this because it adds a level of dimension to it without taking away and adding distraction. So I put it on the top of that Project Life card, add some fun foam, And yeah, I really like doing that. I like adding dimension to my pictures because it makes them pop off the page and even more noticeable, because I always want my pictures to be the focus. I love the creativity part and the art part of scrapbooking, but I never want that to distract from the pictures, because the pictures is where the story. Sometimes it's the words that are the story, and sometimes the pictures and the words are the story. So I just never want to distract from that piece. I end up taking those die cut or the fussy cut pieces and adding them to the background there instead of closer to the pictures. I felt like it was competing with the other florals, so I just moved those. I'm adding this thing causes me so much strife. So I added here, and then I realized that the pictures are going to cover it up. So I peel it off and try again. But it was just like, I was getting so frustrated. I love doilies, but sometimes I just like, I just have a hard time. I'm always using my T-square ruler to line everything up. I'm kind of get silly like that. Sometimes focus on that too much. So I'm adding those silhouette cuts out. I really, really like the florals. I had a hard time sizing these and getting them how I wanted them, but once I cut them out, I love them. I thought about backing them, but it just was too distracting. So I really like them just, kind of adding to the background, but not competing with the pictures again. So you see, I added those florals from the chipboard, and then I tucked in some of the stickers from the sunny days, some of those florals underneath, just to add a little dimension. So you get a little bit of thick chipboard, a little bit of thin sticker. I do end up using that puffy sticker. Those puffy stickers are exclusive to the Hip Kit Club, and I do add the little speech bubble one that says "Love It" to the picture. I do look at these exclusive stickers over and over and over again, as well as the die cuts from Heidi Swap over and over again, but none of them end up making it on the page. Now, these hearts, those epoxy hearts are amazing. The colors match this particular themed kit so incredibly well. And I just had to refrain from adding all of the blue hearts and all of the pink hearts to this page, because hearts plus epoxy, I couldn't. I had to step away. So you see me adding it here. I add, I think, a cluster of 3 to make a visual triangle. I like using the little elements to make a visual triangle to move your eye across the page. And usually I try to put my photos in the middle of my triangle so that your eyes move across the picture as well. Okay, so I decided I love this Doodlebug washi, but I don't like that it has the white edge on it. So I just stuck it down on the on the white cardstock and cut it out. I fussy cut it out. And then, so it's just like a border. And I end up adding it to my picture around here. And then later I'll add some to the top right corner. I ended up taking the you and me stickers off of the right hand side, but they do go back on top of the picture, on top of the pictures. So the you goes on one side, the me goes on the other. And I really like that, how that turns out. I like that font, and I wanted to kind of use that font as well in another visual triangle. So the Sweet Life, and then the you and me, and then later I'll add the XO as well. So here I'm just trying to get the hearts put back since I added that border. I add a little bit of glue because just felt like they needed to get a little bit more stick down there. Yeah, so I really enjoyed how this turned out. I wasn't sure. This layout took me an obscene amount of time, like obscene. And I just struggled. I think the background, I had an idea of what I wanted the background to look like, and when I started it, I just could not get it right. It was too bright, too busy, too whatever. So I end up with this pink, and I really like how it turned out. So I add the thickers. You see the black leaves, and I add those behind the floral clusters. One thing I don't like about these Sunny Days thickers is you get only one each of these leaf kind of patterns or cuts, and they don't match, and it bothers me. And I wanted two of the same ones, and it doesn't happen because they're not included, and I thought I had another pack, but I didn't. So if you are listening, I really like to have two of the same. I mean, I like all the different ones, but I would like to have match in some sense. So I add my journaling. I did it on the computer, and then I cut it out. I added those thickers, Live, Laugh, Love, and then you see the XO down there. Oh, then I left an entire piece off of the journaling, and I found it on the desk, thank goodness, before this all had dried. So I put it back, I tear the ones up, I put them back on, and get the journaling right. So yeah, this layout just really gave me a hard time, for real. Here I am adding the XO to make it kind of matches that One Fine Day. So I really like how the Hip Kit exclusives coordinate so well with the kits. So that font matches the XO and the You and Me, and there's another visual triangle right there around the pictures. Okay, so I decided to tear the edge and use some of that the blue heart paper from the Sunny Days collection here behind this part to bring that blue over to the corner because I felt like I needed some color. And I also add another one of the Doodlebug washi tape pieces here. I put it on white cardstock and cut it out, and then I use it here to add a pop of that gold. Again, working in threes. This layout had a lot of the 3 element, so I think it works well with scrapbook layouts to do odd numbers of combinations. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a design element or it's just a Christie element, but I do like adding the 3s. And here's that final little element of the epoxy hearts. Got to stick these down with some glue because these have 000 stick once you put them on, especially on top of that gesso. So yeah, I think I'm just about done. Just adding some glue here and there to make sure it sticks down so that when I put it in my album, everything doesn't slide off. And those, make sure you use some glue on those thickers because they don't stick. And there you see where I tucked the camera in behind the picture. So that's a little pop of blue there too. And then I get out my date stamp and I stamp it here where it says date. That date stamp is a One Canoe too. I've used it before and I cut off the frame, or not cut off, I took off the frame. So I took a screwdriver and just took it off so that I can just stamp the date. And you see that I'm just putting this epoxy here and moving it down, then getting another one, and I just really struggled with this page, and I don't know why. This took me like 2 weeks to create. I mean, not consistently working on it, but I just really struggled. But happily, I finished it, and I'm so happy with the final product. Glad that I got more of these engagement pictures done and this story told. I really wanted to document the fact of when we got engaged and how it's been a rough couple years for us, but that no matter what comes or has come or will come, that I would continue to say yes over and over and over again. And I always want to express myself in my pages and share these things because I don't necessarily share these thoughts every day. So it's important to me to have this documented. Danny really loves looking through these, and he always smiles when he sees them, and that makes my heart so happy because that's why I do this craft, is to document the memories. So you've seen me add things and take them away and add things and take them away, and what ends up happening is nothing. This kind of layout is done, and I just wanted to keep this in here to show you that even I struggle, you know, everybody struggles. So here's a little close-up. I'm going to go slow so you can see it, and then there'll be some close-ups here at the end. And yeah, I'm so happy you joined me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next process video. Bye.